This is Kating Paula Italaga from Bsba Major in Finance. Hello everyone, today we're gonna talk about developing an effective ethics program for any organizations, for any industry. So this is chapter 8 and I will show you my presentation about the developing an effective ethics program. First, the objective of this chart about to help you to understand the responsibility of the corporation as a moral agent and to understand why this is to develop ethics programs and the most common employee observed forms of misconduct at Fortune 500 companies. So when we say ethics programs, it is designed to encourage ethical decision making in any organization, especially in business. And they must be well designed to prevent major conduct in organization in responsibility of the corporation to stakeholders. It means, ang ethics program kasi ay kailangan na ma-impluwensya ng isang employee na ilagay sa tamang desisyon or to promote ethical behavior and hadlangan sa unethical behavior. For example, sa isang business ethics program is makakatulong ito sa owners and managers to improve their business performance, to make profits, and to contribute to the economic progress of their communities by meeting the reasonable expectations of their stakeholders. And we have the responsibility of the corporation as a moral agent. Actually, has to be taken into consideration because organizations or corporations are viewed not merely as profit-making entities but also as moral agents accountable for their conduct to their stakeholders, including employees, investors, suppliers, governments, and customers. So it means, sa isang corporation ay hindi lang dapat nakafocus sa profit making or kung paano kakikita. Dapat ay alam mo rin ang pag-uugali at kailangan mo rin makasama sa mga employees, investors, suppliers, governments, and sa customers upang magkaroon ng equality sa isang corporations. Now, companies are more than the sum of their parts or participants because corporations are chartered as citizens of a state and or nation. They generally have the same rights to their actions and their responsibilities as individuals. Through legislation and court precedents, society holds companies accountable for the conduct of their employees as well as for their decision and the consequence of those decisions. So, the coverage nga sa social media and also sa television, mga specific issues such as employee benefits, executive compensation, defective products, competitive practices, and financial reporting ay nakatutulong sa reputasyon ng isang company bilang isang moral agent. And as moral agents, companies are required to obey the laws and regulations that define acceptable business conduct. And as a moral agents daw, kailangan mong sumunod sa laws and regulations. For example, to the professional behavior. A professional behavior is such as arrive on time, follow your company's dress code, communicate respectfully, be honest, have a positive attitude, take responsibility, avoid social media, and help others act ethically, and lastly, be reliable. However, it is important to acknowledge They are not human beings who can think through moral issues because companies are not human. Laws and regulations are necessary to provide formal structural restraints and guidance. Employees have a moral obligations to responsibly think through complex ethical issues to contribute to the ethical conduct of the corporation as a whole. Now, look at the figure 8.1 and illustrates the most commonly observed forms of misconduct at Fortune 500 corporations or companies. Now, look at the illustration. From 0% to 30%, let us start at the highest percent. We have 29%, the personal business on company time. It means the employees occasionally use their mobile devices or attend to personal tasks during business hours. Um, Time is money to you and to your employer. Sa 22%, abusive behavior. It can take many forms. It can include being violent or aggressive, making threats, controlling someone's behavior, putting them down, verbally abusing them, taking or keeping money from them, and putting pressure on someone's do things they don't feel comfortable with. And 21% lying to employees. One of the most common occurrences of dishonesty on the job involves lying. Employees may lie to each other, their superiors, or even to customers, but a lot of damage can occur when bosses lie to employees, as employees often tend to mimic the behavior of those in charge, which creates an even bigger problem. And for 18%, discrimination. It may occur when a person is treated less favorably than others. It is the unfair or prejudicial treatment of people and groups based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, or sexual orientation. And 18% also to health and safety violation. Ito yung mga safety protocols na kailangan natin sundin for our good health and special to others, lalo na kung haharap tayo sa ating mga customers. Tulad nga na ngayong pandemic, ay kailangan natin ingatan ang ating health and maging aware sa ating safety. And 17% for the company resources abuse. It is the lack of appropriate rules and measures put in place governing the use of organizational resources. Poor education and training of the employees in the expected use of company resources. And the 17% for internet abuse. It refers to improper use of the internet and may include the cyberbullying. It is use of the internet to bully and intimidate, including the cybercrime, to use of computers in criminal activities, and the cyber sex trafficking. It is the live or streaming of coerced sexual acts or rape. In many cases, a coherent ethical corporate culture does not evolve through independent individual and interpersonal relationships. Although ethics is often viewed as an individual matter, many believe that the best way to develop an ethical corporate culture is to provide character education to existing employees or hire individuals with good character and sensitize them to ethical issues. This theory assumes ethical conduct develops through company-wide agreement and consensus. Although these assumptions are laudable and contain some truth, companies that are responsible for most of the economic activity in the world employ thousands of culturally diverse individuals who will never reach agreement on all ethical issues. Ibig sabihin, upang maging isang ethical ang isang corporation, ay dapat bago sila mag-hire ng isang tao sa isang kumpanya, ay dapat maganda ang character ng education or may experience para kumbaga alam na niya ang gagawin. At as a business owners naman, ay kailangan mo rin na tulungan sila na ma-improve ang mga skills nila at tulungan sila para mas lalong maging successful ang isang corporations or organization. Isang company naman ay dapat na nagkakasundo ang mga ito because many ethical business issues are complex, calls, and the only way to ensure consistent decisions that represent the interests of all stakeholders is to require ethical policies. Now, this chapter provides support para sa idea na ang pagpapatupad ng isang centralized corporate ethics program ay maaaring magbigay ng cohesive and internally consistent set of statements and policies that representing the corporation as a moral agent. So that is the lesson for today and I hope na may natutuhan kayo. Thank you.